Dragon Ball Super sucks! End of discussion! Sorry about that, guys. Maybe I should get into a little bit more detail than that. A large amount of Dragon Ball Super sucks. And now let me just get into my reasoning, because I am not a man without explaining my reasoning as to why I do not like something or like something. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into detail why I don't like a large majority of Dragon Ball Super. So, number one, the first two arcs are just rehashes of what we've already seen done in two movies, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods, and Resurrection F. They just redo those arcs completely, add little side stories. People are like, oh, the anime does it better because we get more development in the characters, and oh, we get to see more side stories and how people end up in certain situations in certain places. Man, screw that! The animation looks terrible throughout those first two arcs, and Resurrection F arc makes me want to claw my eyeballs out. And, you know, I mean, to be fair, I never really got that into the Resurrection F movie, but at least it was visually appealing. There is nothing really visually appealing about the Resurrection arc in Dragon Ball Super. Now, Battle of Gods especially is even worse, with its humor is not that great. The character writing is just even worse than the actual movie, which, I'm going to be quite honest, I have a fun time with Battle of Gods. People seem to be in a large majority of liking Resurrection F. I am not in that majority. I think Battle of Gods was way better, but there were still issues with the movie itself, and the series that Dragon Ball Super amplifies it times 10. Alright? Goodness gracious, that was a mouthful. Don't even get me started on the Goku Black arc. Goku Black. Oh, it's a funny arc. I'll tell you that. Because a large majority of it doesn't make sense. It's visually appealing, right? That means that everyone will enjoy it. That's not how it works, guys. I mean, come on now. Suicide Squad was an appealing looking movie, but it just was not well written. And the same thing applies to the Goku Black arc in Dragon Ball Super. So, yeah, a majority of it does not make sense. The whole time travel elements. I did actually, even though I was happy to see Future Trunks, why is his hair blue? Goku Black's whole story just does not make any sense. It's just, I mean, I could possibly, you know, make a lot of people upset by saying this. I mean, Goku Black is a visually appealing character, but there's nothing really of super substance to him. And supposedly Zamasu is supposed to be the same person as Goku Black, but they act so completely different, you couldn't tell that they're the same person, and that's also another confusing factor. It just does not make sense to me. Thankfully, the arc got a lot better near its end with you know, the reintroduction of Vegito, having him return, but then they just completely split up into Fusion, and Trunks finishes the job, which doesn't make sense in terms of power scaling. And that's where we're gonna get into our next issue with Dragon Ball Super. The freaking power scaling makes no sense. Look, how in the world does a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta get defeated by Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black, but then Trunks in his Super Saiyan form can take him on? What? Now, come on now. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Trunks was getting schooled by Goku Black in his base form. What can he do against the Super Saiyan Rose? It makes no sense. And we get many instances of this broken power scaling throughout the series. Even Caulifla and Kale going toe-to-toe with the Super Saiyan God, eventually being edged out. They shouldn't stand a chance whatsoever against Goku. Now, I'll give Kale the benefit of the doubt that she could take on, you know, Goku. But Caulifla knocking his foot over makes no sense. And it should not happen that way. And that's really this series in a nutshell. Even with its character writing is extremely lazy, characters are reverted to get that same sense that we get back in Z, except they do not accomplish it in the way that Z did it. So even Vegeta, my favorite character, I skipped through a ton of his scenes. The way they reverted him back is just extremely disappointing. They could have developed him and, done something really interesting with him this time around. Say what you will about GT, and Vegeta's involvement in GT was almost non-existent, but you can see that the character had developed at that point, and he was a very, very different Vegeta at that point. So Z seems like he reverted back quite a bit, and I do not like that, especially after this takes place after the Buu arc, where he admits that Goku is #1. And he's back in the series. He's like, oh no, he's not #1. I'm the strongest. I will be the strongest. I am the best. Ah! And I'm like, dude, what happened, man? And it's just so lazy. And now, final summary of this show. Dragon Ball Super is a dumpster fire, and I want it to burn forever, 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 forever. Everyone should burn their copy, burn their posters, burn all the merchandise, and it should never be existing. Alright, bye. Thank you for watching the video. I'm just kidding, guys. It's all jokes. It's all jokes. Mostly this video was clickbait. I'm going to be quite honest. The first 65% of the show of Dragon Ball Super is pretty bad, but once we get to the Tournament of Power stuff and the stuff leading up to the Tournament of Power, that's when the show gets significantly better. Now, I personally do still have issues within the Tournament of Power, but mostly I find it to be a very enjoyable arc, and that is the centerpiece of Dragon Ball Super for me. If the rest of the show was like that, was like the Tournament of Power, I would rewatch the entire show. But the Tournament Power is all we got, the last arc, and you know what? I'll stick with it. It's a very fun arc. I love it. Visually appealing. The writing is actually somewhat good, and I just have a fun time with the arc. I mean, it feels like classic Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball Z mixed in it, and that is just a really cool element to me. So I really like the Tournament of Power. So in that regard, this video was actually clickbait. A majority of Dragon Ball Super is bad, but it's not entirely bad, and a huge portion of it, which is the Tournament of Power, is actually very, very good, and I would rewatch that over and over again, like I have. So, if you guys like the video and you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button, and yeah, like I said, subscribe today to join the Isaiahization.